Welcome to a Making a Scene presentation on the science every musician should understand, what sound actually is. Modern independent recording sessions often become a mountain of digital plugins. There is a common assumption that software can rescue a thin vocal or a muddy guitar once the audio has reached the computer. This slow-motion footage of a guitar string reveals the physical truth of the process. Every recording begins with a vibration. Long before a signal hits your audio interface, a physical object must move. Focusing on software while ignoring these physical laws ensures that an artist will spend their entire career fighting the limitations of their own recordings. As an instrument moves, it pushes and pulls on the air molecules surrounding it. Those molecules bump into their neighbors, passing the disturbance along as a traveling ripple of high and low pressure. Frequency measures how fast that pressure wave repeats its cycle every second. Our brains interpret that physical speed as musical pitch. A slow cycle gives us a deep, heavy bass note, while a fast cycle sounds bright and airy. Amplitude describes the physical size and strength of the vibration. A hard strike on a snare drum moves the drumhead further, creating larger changes in air pressure. We experience that increased physical force as a louder sound. Recording is the act of placing a sensitive measuring device inside this moving field of pressure and reflections. Tuning forks produce clean, basic vibrations. However, musical instruments create a complex and messy combination of sounds that give them personality. When you play a single note, the string vibrates at its main pitch, but smaller sections of that string also vibrate at higher speeds. These layers are harmonics. This specific balance of stacked frequencies creates timbre, allowing our ears to distinguish a saxophone from a singer. Notice the sharp initial spike at the front of this waveform. That is a transient, the fast, concentrated burst of energy from a drumstick impact or a pick strike. Transients and harmonics provide the brain with the clues needed to identify a sound. Aggressive EQ and compression can strip these layers away, removing the character and emotion from the performance. Wavelength is the physical distance of one complete cycle. Low-frequency waves are massive. A bass wave can equal a room's length. Bouncing off walls, these waves collide. Where they add together, they create a massive boom. Where they cancel out, the bass nearly disappears. This physical scale is why thin squares of acoustic foam cannot solve low-end problems. The material is too small to absorb or redirect a wave that is 12 feet long. A perceived lack of bass in a mix often stems from the physical location of your chair in a room's dead zone. Engineers capture these pressure patterns using a transducer. This device converts the physical movement of the air into an electrical signal. Condenser nigroserm use extremely lightweight internal parts. Their low physical mass allows them to track fast transients and delicate upper harmonics with incredible detail. Dynamic microphones employ a heavier design. This extra mass naturally shapes the attack, helping smooth out loud, aggressive sources like guitar amplifiers or snare drums. Moving a directional microphone closer to a source also causes a physical boost in low frequencies. This is the proximity effect, and it can be used to add warmth or size to a vocal. Because every inch of distance changes the balance of harmonics, reflections, and transients, microphone placement is the most powerful acoustic EQ an artist possesses. Frequency masking occurs when two instruments compete for the same sonic space, making the mix feel crowded and unclear. Effective recording requires solving these conflicts in the room. This setup uses physical distance and acoustic baffles to separate the sound of the singer from the reflections of the space before the audio is ever processed. Meaningful improvements come from simple experiments, moving the singer away from a wall, tuning the drumhead, or choosing a different guitar pick to change the transient. True audio engineering happens in the physical environment before the record button is pressed. Mastering the physics of sound translates directly into higher production value. It reduces the time spent repairing mistakes and ensures that every capture is a professional-grade asset. Controlled, intentional recording makes music more licensable and valuable long-term. This level of technical cooperation ensures the performance is captured with the clarity needed for professional distribution. Technical knowledge allows an artist to protect the value of their master files. By understanding the signal chain of reality, you ensure the assets in your catalog meet professional standards from the moment they are created. For more resources on audio production and the music business, visit the Making a Scene website. Expensive gear cannot negotiate with the laws of physics. However, an educated artist can use those laws to take total control of their art.